All right, all right. How's everybody feeling this morning? Um, Today we're gonna talk about staying motivated. You know what I mean? My name's Haziq Ali. I'm a revenue acceleration expert. I'm a self-esteem development specialist, starting with my own, right? And then I just want to welcome you to a show that's all about helping you get further faster with less effort. You know, sometimes we do mindset, sometimes we do heart set, sometimes we do skill set. Regardless, it's designed to push you. It's designed to push you. So I want to, my man, Coach Spencer was number one. Let's get it. Hope everybody's feeling good this morning. Miss Vita Lachey checking in. The YouTube gang is in full effect. I love that. Make sure you share this with somebody who needs it. That's how we keep this thing rolling, right? The universe gives to the givers, just like it takes from the takers. If you give joy, then the universe will give you joy, right? If you give love, the universe will give you love. Okay, young Coco. But if all you do is take, you know what I mean, then what the universe does is begin to take little bits of your life from you, take little bits of your happiness, take little bits of your soul. We want to get to a place where we are giving, where we are forgiving, right? Just listen to that word. We're forgiving. Think about that. What are you for? I'm forgiving more, because then I know the universe is going to give it back, baby. You hear me? Hey, Diamond, Nene in the house. Precious Dunn is in the building. What's up, Queen? Long time. What's happening, you vet? Let's get it, y'all. Let them know what kind of business you have. I truly want to know. Seriously, what do you do? You know, because before we get into motivation and all of that, it's real important to understand what you're motivated towards. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Do me a favor, if you're watching on Facebook, share this into a group, y'all. Share this in your messenger groups. Do me a favor and spread this to some of your best friends who are going to keep you accountable, like we talked about yesterday. Some of y'all promised y'all was going to get some accountability partners. Maybe you did it already, maybe you didn't, but try it, man. Huh? Well, I do the, hey, 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 hey. Allie made it in. I love it. Mama Mahasan in the house. My man Trey Brown up in here. Adam, what's cracking, Adam? My man Corey 19 in the house. Okay then. Yeah, let her know. Chanel. P.O. My man P.O. All right, we're going to get this party started. I'm going to go ahead and call in on this live line. Hold on just a second, everybody. We're going to call in on this thing. Now, that's real weird that thing was able to play when I cut it off. But that's a subject for another day.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time, because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on.
All right, let's get it.
Thank you.
Ashley, what's
Please
up,
announce
Queen?
yourself.
I love it. Okay.
All participants are muted.
Nah, man. Once you get a good nickname,
exit tones are off.
A good nickname, man, you can't just find that anywhere. You know what I mean? You can't just take that for granted. We done found one. You know, and then Corey need to know that once he came along, you started coming down with Corey 19. I love it. All right, y'all. That's crazy. We don't even call COVID-19 no more. Just sent me this thing about how now there's a whole new variant. You know, I ain't even gonna go there though. God willing, you know, this is all just a temporary phase. You know what I mean? And we're gonna get out of it. But what I'm hoping ain't temporary is your motivation. Good morning, millionaires. My name is Haziq Ali. If you're calling in on a live line, let me introduce myself. We're all about revenue acceleration. We call this millionaire minded, because what we find is that most people live in a space of victim physics, what we call Newtonian physics. Y'all know the dude who was sitting under the tree the apple fell on his head. It's called cause and effect. That's the kind of physics most people live under. We're dealing with quantum physics. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Gaia. There's a whole TV networks dedicated to the concept that instead of you being a victim, you're a creator, right? You were created by a creator to be creative. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So around here, we deal with being millionaire minded because you have to be the millionaire before the money shows up. I'm living proof of that. You have to be loved before it shows up. I'm living proof of that. You have to be healthy before the body you want shows up. And I'm talking about the body that you get from self-discipline. We're even going to get to that in a little bit. But the whole idea here, y'all, is that you have to become before you'll naturally do, before the things that you want you naturally have, right? What most people do is they forget that this lifestyle right here is a syntax. If you don't like your lifestyle, you look backwards at your results. If you don't like your results, you look backwards at your activity. If you don't like your activity, you got to look backwards at your attitude. And if you don't like your attitude, you've got to observe your philosophy. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to start in the middle with the activity. So they start with, oh man, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to focus on, doing this binge diet or whatever it is, right? But that's starting with the activity and it never lasts. You begin to lose this motivation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you something that will allow you to strengthen that philosophy you got, because you can't just start with the activity. Oh, I'm just going to get money, or oh, I'm just going to change the way I treat him or her in this relationship. But no, you have to look backwards from the activity. Most make the fatal mistake of starting with the activity, y'all. You got to look backwards at the attitude. And if you don't like the attitude, you have to look backwards at the philosophy. Am I making sense? Share this with somebody if this makes sense to you, because our goal every morning is to bulletproof our philosophies. We just want to add on layers that make it so that we can accept a bigger and bigger crisis and still be unfazed. We want to make it so that even when we're way outside what used to be our comfort zone 5 years ago, we still feel cool, calm, and collected in this new version of ourselves, So a lot of times you see posts about motivation. You read books about motivation. There are plenty of videos on YouTube with motivational speakers. But what I'm going to talk to you about this morning is some advice we don't hear about a lot. I'm going to give you some of the techniques that some of these cover, some don't. But to me, this will help you form the core of how you can stay motivated. Some of the advice out there is useful. Some of it ain't. I'm very curious to see which of these 5 is going to be your favorite. So make sure you put them in the comments. Can I get a commitment to that? Make sure you put them in the comments. All right, here's the first one, y'all. If you're ready for number 1, give me a number 1 and a share. Let's get it. Let's get it. Here's the first one, y'all. Give me a number 1 and a share if you're ready for number 1. Let's get it. Okay, Ashley in the house. My accountability partner right there. Miss Ashley Scott of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. I love it. I love it. Okay, Trey in the house. I hope Trey make it in. I love it. I love it. Let's get it. Give me a number 1 and a share. Let's get it. Let's get it. Give me a number 1 and a share, y'all. All right, here we go. Here we go. Appreciate that, Miss Connor. Appreciate that. I see you. That means you up early. I love it. Let's go, K Coop. Let's go, Jasmine. All right, here we go. Here's the first one that you need, and this might be the number 1 I got for you today. Millionaires, you got to understand your core values. You've got to understand your core values if you want to stay motivated. Listen, I'm going to say it a third time because it's just that important. You've got to understand your core values. If you don't know what your personal core values are, you don't understand yourself. And then pretty soon you won't be able to stand yourself. If you don't understand yourself, then you hear what I'm saying to you. Check it out. Values drive your actions. Values are what define you as a person. You can't expect someone else to have the values. You've got to know your own values, and knowing them can be incredibly motivational if you use them correctly, that is. So imagine you have a core value of freedom. I'll give you an example. Let's say your core value of freedom. To you, freedom means reaching this position of earning enough money so you can become location independent. You can become time independent. And you know to achieve that is going to require some hard work. It might mean you have to get up a couple hours earlier in the morning before you go to your job. Or you might have to get up a couple hours earlier in the morning before the babies wake up. So here you are, one morning, the alarm goes off at 5:30 a.m. It's the middle of January, bitter cold outside. Your heat has quit on you. You immediately focus on what you don't want to do, which is leave your warm, cozy, nice bed to work. But let me tell you what you're doing. Therein lies the problem, millionaire. You're focusing on what you don't want. Your brain can do a lot of things. Your brain is making sure your blood keeps pumping. Oh, yeah, don't forget to blink, right? Your brain's doing all of that. But here's one thing that your brain can't do. It can't focus on two things at the same time. Not your conscious mind. It can't focus on two things at the same time. So what you're doing is when you get out of bed and you start focusing on how you don't want to get out of bed, check it out. You're focusing on what you don't want. Think about that. What if you brought that core value of freedom to your mind? What if you reminded yourself of its importance and how badly you want to be working from Bali, or how badly you want to be working from Costa Rica, or how badly you want to get your mom out that job she's always complaining about? Suddenly, you're exponentially more likely to get yourself out of bed and do the work, because the importance is now front and center in your brain, and it just gave you some motivation. Ain't that cold? If you're ready for number 2, give me a number 2 and a share. Give me a number 2 and a share. That's why at the top, when you walk into that Great Pyramid of Giza, some of y'all think, it was built by, aliens. Some people think it was built by an older civilization that had higher forms of technology than us. Some of you feel like it was built by the melanated. Regardless, I'm going to tell you what's above that doorway in the Great Pyramid of Giza, right? Where if you push together all the land masses on the planet, then this pyramid would be right in the middle. Remember Pangea? This pyramid would be right in the middle of what they call Pangea, right? How did they do that? Who knows? But let me tell you what's on the doorway when you walk in that thing. Know thyself. Know thyself. Can somebody give me that in the comments? Know thyself. This is important. I don't care what color, shape, size, creed, religion, know thyself. You hear me? If you're ready for number 2, give me a know thyself and a share. Know your core values. What do you actually care about? You always hear people say, ain't no growth in the comfort zone and ain't no comfort in the growth zone. But is your core value even to grow? Maybe you feel like you're fine just the way you are. You don't need to grow. Well, then what is your core value? It's important you know that. It's important you know that. Know thyself. Know thyself. Know thyself. Let's get it. Know thyself. Know thyself. Let's get it. Know thyself. Know thyself. Here's the second one I got for you. Now, this one's going to sound a little tricky coming from me, but visualization. This is a heck of a motivation technique, but I'm going to give you a small nuance today, because a lot of people that visualize, because I know some of y'all like, man, you put us through that every morning, Haziq. And it's true. When we get finished with the live stream, some of y'all call in on the live line. Let me pull it up real quick. Some of y'all call in on the live line, and we do visualization exercises together, right? We go to We Are Millionaire Minded on Instagram, pick out vision board images, and then we experience them in advance. Our whole goal is to create that repetition, that conditioning, so that success becomes the path of least resistance for you. Because a lot of people's minds are thinking the same thoughts every day. This is science. This ain't Haziq. 60,000 thoughts the average human is having every day, and 90+% of them are the same exact thoughts you had yesterday. And in a world where they call it a stoplight, not a go light, in a world where all of the news is always bad news, I'm telling you, most of your thoughts are normally negative unless you take control of it. So that's why visualization is important. But most people that visualize do it completely wrong, y'all. Most people that visualize do it in the complete wrong way. What do I mean? I mean that when you are getting from here to where you want to be, there are going to be some problems. Most people just think of what they want and then they zoom in on it with laser focus. If they visualize at all, I'm talking about. But then when you look at that group of people, which is really small, who actually visualize on a daily basis, a lot of them just zoom in on what they want with laser focus. But this has two different drawbacks that I'm not sure people realize. First, it can send a message to the brain that you're already there. And this can create a subtle, small drop in your motivation. Because it's like, oh my goodness, I'm already there. Let me just cool out. I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to chant some mantras, right? I'm going to keep to these affirmations, Haziq told me. It worked for him. But do you know Haziq works like a Hebrew slave? Do you know that? Now, it doesn't always feel like working. It ain't like I'm pouring tar in July. But listen to me. I am never comfortable not doing anything. People that love me have to make me slow down. You get what I'm saying to you? Here's the second one. People tend, and this is the big one, people tend not to visualize what it's going to take to get there. People have a tendency not to visualize the potential, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. The inevitable drawbacks that are going to happen. The inevitable problems they're going to encounter. If you're doing something really worthwhile, y'all, it's probably not going to be easy. Life don't work like that. You know, I don't care if you're talking about, Amway or Nove. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're talking about, the construction company that built the house or the apartment you live in, or if you're talking about the school that your children go to. There were some stumbling blocks. Does that make sense? Do you think that anybody got where they are without making some mistakes? Do you think anybody that you look up to and admire got there with no problems? So what do we do with this information? What do we do? What I'm saying is, if you visualize yourself breezing through to the goal early, then what will happen is when you do encounter difficulties, your motivation going to fall out. Because you're like, what the heck is going on? Where's my Rolls Royce? You know what I mean? Definitely employ visualization, y'all. It's scientifically proven to help. It's scientifically proven to be super powerful. But when you're doing your visualization, here's a nuance. Also, visualize yourself dealing with the problems that are inevitably going to occur. What I'm saying is anticipate the potential problems as well, and then see yourself dealing with them efficiently and effectively. And then next thing you know, that's going to make it way more likely to occur. And it pumps up your motivation. Visualizing things in your mind before you have to do them is almost like a mental workshop. This is why we encourage you to write out your goals. I didn't knock out all 5 of my major goals yesterday, but I knocked out a bunch of them because I visualized myself doing it. I even visualized the part where I'm sure that my energy would get drained. And then I already pictured what I was going to do when that happened. It is amazing. If you've ever taken that Kaizen Academy class we have on habits, we talk about doing a memento mori, which is like what throws you off every time and what you're going to do about this one when it happens again. What you're going to do this time that's different. So that's the nuance I want you to add to your visualization. Is everybody with me? If you're with me, give me a number 3 and a share. Now we're going to move a little bit to health. Is this making sense? We're going to move a little bit to health. My man Joseph checking in. Good, Jasmine. Good, Jasmine. That does my heart good when somebody say that. That does my heart good when somebody says that. What's up, Shalonda? Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, never. Not at all. You know? I love it. I love it. Let's get it, y'all. Who else we got checking in? Who else we got checking in? Yeah, let's get it, Ash. You know what it is, Ash. Let's get it. All right, here's number 3. This is going to sound kind of wild. Y'all going to be like, what are you, a nutritionist now? But check this out. Keep your blood sugar levels up. Nobody talks about this, but I promised you unusual ways to stay motivated. Have I kept my promise so far? Keep your blood sugar levels up. Your brain needs 2 things to create energy, y'all. Oxygen and glucose. Everybody already knows this? I know I'm sounding like my sister on Sundays with wealth is the new wellness. You know, like my sister's an Ivy League educated physician, and I'm definitely not her, right? I'm the one without a college degree. You know what I mean? But I tell you what I know. I know that you need 2 things to create energy. I know you need oxygen, and I know you need glucose, right? I love that, Shalonda. I know you need oxygen and you need glucose, but here's the thing. Unfortunately, glucose depletes through the day, and you start to become less effective as that happens. Now your willpower starts to dip massively. And then, therefore, your ability to motivate yourself to do the work instead of taking the more easy, appealing option of watching a little Netflix, right? For a lot of us, Netflix is damaging our net worth. But you don't hear me, though. Here's what you can do. You got some choices. You can boost your energy level by drinking some kind of high energy, high sugar drink, right? You can eat some candy. You can do like my son does and gorge yourself on them bang energy drinks. Well, he used to. Now my son is a whole athlete, so he done chilled out on a lot of that, right? He just sent me this thing yesterday talking about his body fat. He's like 93, 94, 95% muscle. I'm like, damn, you just made me want to do some push-ups. But anyway, check it out. You'll need a boost of energy as the sugar is turned into glucose all quick. But then what happens is you'll get a crash. And then 90 minutes later, there's that dip in motivation, right? Now you need more sugar to maintain that high. So what do? Because apart from the long-term negative health quandary you're going to put yourself in by adopting this approach, it's also not all that effective if you're talking about a long-term strategy for maintaining motivation. So what do we need to do? Millionaires, you got to adopt a low glycemic diet. I ain't trying to use too big a word on you. I'm giving you something to Google, though. A low glycemic diet. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, let me explain why it helps. It explains because now your body is metabolizing the food you eat and delivering it to your brain at a slower, more consistent rate. That allows you to maintain your vibe. Now you avoid the surges of energy and then a crash that follows, right? So that means, more beans. Cod is a really good fish. That's like, broccoli, berries, mangoes. Okay. This is low glycemic type food. Somebody put that in the comments. Yeah, all facts, Ash. Somebody put low glycemic. You know what? I'm going to type it in there. Y'all like, we ain't in school. All right. So boom. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying low glycemic. There we go. How you love that? Low glycemic foods. Low glycemic foods, right? This way you can avoid those surges of energy that are always followed by this inevitable crash. All right. Give me somebody give me their favorite. I love it. Talk that talk, Ebony. Let's go, Ebony. There's an app called Glycerin Index. If you're listening in on the Winter Hotline, if you're listening in on the Millionaire Mind Line, there's an app called Glycerin Index that'll help you find low glycemic foods. I love that. Coconut water. If somebody knows a good low glycemic food, give it to us. Mangoes, broccoli. That's right. Beans. Even though Dr. Sebi say broccoli ain't a real vegetable, but that's another training. All right, here's number 4. Millionaires, take regular breaks. Take regular breaks. Yeah, Ebony, it's the Matrix. It's the Matrix. Number 4 is take regular breaks. I didn't know that, Dave. My man David Witherspoon is a nutritionist. Y'all got to holler at him. Follow him on Facebook. Oh, I'm glad you made it in. I'm glad you made it in, Queen. Good, good, good. Turn on your notifications so you never miss a class. Every day, we're just going to add a little something to your philosophy. We're going to help you become stronger with your view of the world so that things don't knock you off your square. Here's number 4, y'all. Speaking of not getting knocked off your square. Oh, Mama Mahasin coming through with the jewels. Let's get it. Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. Let's get it. Yeah. Allie wants to talk, David. She's a chef. Let's get it. All right, here's number 4. Take regular breaks. I've talked about this numerous times because a lot of people don't know it's a secret hack. On average, your brain can stay engaged, on average, for about 90 to 120 minutes. That's on average. If you feel like you got in it, you're like, I play a lot of games on my phone, etc., so forth, it's constantly stimulating me, then maybe your brain can do it for 60 minutes. But check it out. Most people, it's like 90 to 120 minutes before they start losing their motivation, before they start losing their focus. And when people push past this, they start to get into this law of diminishing returns, and their performance suffers, and they don't even realize it. They don't even realize they're working harder, but getting less done. So what do? Every 60 minutes, every 90 minutes, maybe you give yourself a 10-minute break. Maybe you give yourself a 15-minute break, right? Every 90 minutes or so. Maybe you take a walk, right? Maybe you do some light exercise, right? Maybe you do a little mini meditation. Maybe you take a power nap. But the point is, your brain is going to work much better if you step away from the task and then come back to it renewed, refreshed, restored. Am I making sense to somebody out there? Millionaires, what you want to do is put yourself in a place where you can perform at a higher standard. And for you to do that, life goes like this, y'all. Boop, 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 boop. We got to stop acting surprised when the dip comes, right? Because if you're standing on one peak and your goal is to get to the next mountain peak, you know what's between them? A valley. So you need to be ready. That's what a lot of today is, y'all. A lot of today is getting ready. Man, y'all still on that number 4. I love it. But I'm going to keep on throwing them up there because, hey, I want you to listen. All right, number 5 is the last one I got for you. Then we're going to do some affirmations and some visualization. We're going to do a little visualization and some affirmations in a minute. I got so check it out. That's right. Facts. All right, so check it out. This is the last one I got for you. So you know, my baby gonna love this. Check it out. Get enough sleep. Get enough sleep, y'all. Now, you might think that working into the small hours of the night sounds like a great idea. You know, one of my good friends got a whole clothing line he built called Sleep is for Suckers, right? But he changed. He damn near wanted to sell the clothing line because he's like, people getting the wrong idea. He meant it as a metaphor. He meant it like, yo, you'll live the life that others only dream about if you work while others are sleeping. But his whole metaphor was that people walking around sleep because they don't know themselves, or they don't know their core values, or they are not facing the fact that this job right here will never allow them to save enough to be financially free, right? And if they can't live off 100% of that money, how the heck are they going to live off 40% of it 40 years from now when prices are 40% higher? Right? So that's what he meant by sleep. What we saying today when we say get enough sleep is that if you ain't an early riser, right? Or if you're not a late stayer upper, right? Then you won't feel me. But if you are one of these people that finds some honor and some peace and getting up before the rest of the house wakes up, I want you to understand that it is highly probable that over time, you're going to see a drop off in your performance. And then that drop off in performance is going to result in a dip in motivation. And then that dip in motivation is going to result in you beginning to form a self-image of a person who's mediocre. If you've seen that class we do on habits, then I need you to understand something. I need you to understand that every action you take, what you're doing, y'all, is you're putting yourself in a place where you're casting votes for a new self-image. Believe it or not, every action you take makes your mind say, I'm the kind of person who blank. And to impeach the current self-image is just like Congress. You don't need a unanimous vote. You just need the majority. So what you want to do is give yourself the kind of energy by giving yourself the kind of rest you need that's going to help you sustain. You hear what I'm saying to you? Yeah, Allie. Yeah, Allie, let's fix it. It's a basic. A lot of people swear that they can exist on such little sleep. When I did that class on leadership myths, we were talking about how a lot of people swear that the older they get, the less sleep they need. Man, nothing could be further from the truth. Your brain needs to re-energize, y'all. When you go to sleep, that's when your body starts to heal a cut that's on your hand. When you go to sleep, that's when your muscles start to repair themselves. When you go to sleep, that's when your immune system does this big thing. I would do this thing where I would sweat at night, right? Until I took this detox. This detox, man, if you haven't done a detox or a colon cleanse lately, you probably ain't as heavy as you think. You're probably just storing all this crap in, but that's a training for another time. All I'm saying is that it's a myth where people are like, oh, I can exist on low sleep. Very few people on the planet can exist in their motivational period without having rest. And there's a growing amount of research out there, y'all, that too little sleep starts to have long-term effects on your cognitive ability, your ability to stay on task, and yes, your ability to stay motivated. The Dalai Lama himself said sleep is the best meditation. So that's what I had for you today. That's what I had for you today. Which one was your favorite? I want to see it in the comments. Let me see it in the comments. Which one was your favorite? Now it's affirmation time. I want to trick you into saying affirmations more often, y'all. I want to trick you into transforming yourself if you'll allow me to. Oh, you're going to feel weird them first couple times. The people in the house with you, or the people that are riding in the car with you to work, they probably going to think you crazy, especially if you take your cool off and put energy in motion, emotion. You mess around and put some emotion into it. Oh my goodness. They're going to look at you like you done lost your mind. Like, what you mean you rich? Right? And you're like, what you mean? Never mind. But you get what I'm saying? It's going to feel weird those first couple times. But what you're doing is casting votes for a new self-image. Let's just cast votes. Drop it in the ballot box. Cast more votes for this new person you want to be. All right, call in right now. If your phone line charges you, then what you do is text call me to the same number. Repeat after me, millionaires. Let's get it.